for some reason, my kids are extra screamy today. So you'll
Yeah,
probably.
I just told my husband to leave. I was like, get out of here with my son. I was like, I can't with you guys. I was like, go find something to do.
I know. I totally understand.
It's like last day. He starts school tomorrow.
That's hilarious. Okay, I think we're live. I'm going to give it a second just to make sure we've got some people joining. Okay, it looks like I do see some people poking in. So, hey guys, Tiffani Higgins here. Thank you for joining our Tuesday live. It's 11 a.m. Central Time. We go live every Tuesday at this time to talk about how you can have your cake and eat it too. So that's the motto of our company. Our company is called the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy, and we help parents build wealth for their family, but also get to have the flexibility and freedom to spend the time with the family that they want to. So that's what we're here for. We're all about, we use a bookkeeping business as the vehicle to accomplish those goals. And we teach people to do that even if they have no prior experience in bookkeeping or accounting. We walk you through everything. So looks like Melinda has joined us. Hi, Melinda. Thanks for saying hi. If you guys are tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm sitting here in Houston, Texas. I have Anne with me today. She's going to share her story. Anne recently sent me a message to let me know that she is actually making more money in her bookkeeping business than I ever did. So I'm super excited. I think you might be the first official student that has exceeded my success, which is really exciting. So we're going to hear all about Anne's journey and get to learn and take a deep dive into her business and what it looks like from somebody else that's not me. So you guys can all get an idea of how it could possibly look for you as well. So if you are tuning in, say hi, tell us where you're tuning in from. Anne, you're in Pennsylvania, is that right?
Yeah, right outside of Philadelphia.
Awesome. Awesome. So also too, guys, if you want to get text alerts when we go live, comment text below so we can get you added to our text list. And if you aren't on our email campaign or on our email list, comment email below and we'll get you added to that as well so that you can get daily updates on how the students are doing. We like to send a lot of student success stories and wins out in the group. And I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my kids are really happy today and they're screaming in the other room. So you guys are going to have to hear a lot of my kiddos playing choo-choo trains and screaming. So it looks like we got quite a few people tuning in. Lots of people are saying hi and joining us. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Heidi. I think you sent me a message. I need to get back to you. And hi, Lonnie. And Diane is watching. Samantha's watching. Lori's watching. Good to see you guys. Okay, so normally I like to kind of talk about the program a little bit, but I'm going to just kind of dive right into hearing Anne's story today. So make sure, what I like to tell everybody is that we really like these lives to be super interactive. So for all of you guys that are watching today, whenever you think of questions for me or for Anne, please comment and post them because we would love to be able to answer the questions that the people that are watching right now have. So don't be afraid, don't hesitate to ask us questions and we'll be happy to address them. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Anne. Anne, if you want to, can you give everybody a little bit of background on who you are and what your family's like, and maybe what gave you the idea to kind of go down this path and join our program and start growing a bookkeeping business?
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Anne Lindeman. My company's Independence Bookkeeping. I am a mother I have two kids. I have one that is 24. She'll be 24 this month. And then I also have a 4-year-old. So I have two kids that are 20 years apart. I worked the entire time that I was raising my daughter. And I knew when I had my son, I said I didn't want that life again of just that 9-to-5 crazy working and barely seeing your kids. So what I did was I had my son in 2017 and I was working at a job that I was doing it was like a lot of accounting type work, but it wasn't like what we're doing here with the bookkeeping. I did a lot of inventory management, a lot of customer service, a lot of ordering orders for clients and stuff. And I decided to quit my job when I had my son because they wouldn't let me work from home. And that was an issue for many years while I was working there, and they just weren't having it. So I quit, and I decided to focus on helping my husband with his escape room business. So we opened escape rooms in 2016. It was me and my husband, and we have business partners. And I said, well, we'll just focus on the escape rooms. I don't really need that job, and we'll figure it out from there. So once I helped him get on his feet with the escape room, because the guys didn't know anything about like how to start a business or the compliance or any of that stuff. So I did all the back office stuff, all the handling of the finances and the bookkeeping, just from the little bit that I knew from my previous job. And once that was running like a well-oiled machine, I saw Tiffany's ad, and I said, oh, well, that's kind of like what I do. I wonder if I should take that course and offer this for other clients. I didn't really have the confidence to just go get new clients. So I was like, well, let me just see how like she does it. And then I can see if I can offer this for other people. So I took the course. And as I was taking the course, I said, oh, this is all stuff that is kind of like, a lot of it was new, but a lot of it was like, I've done this. I just haven't done it in this order or in this particular way, from start to finish. And I said, I can do this. Like, I know I could do this for other people. So that's when and then I launched my business a few months later. So it'll be 2 years in October. So I bought the course in October. I launched in December of 2019. And then I just started offering. I got a few clients right away, and it kind of just snowballed from there. I just really started it with the intention of just making a couple $100 extra a month, just thinking like, my husband was working at nighttime at the escape room. So I had nothing to do at nighttime after I put my son to bed. And I'm just like, not that type of person to lay around. I wanted to keep busy. And I was like, if I just have a couple of clients, I could just do it at nighttime. And I was like, I'm never going to like make it bigger than that. But it snowballed so quickly that I was like, this is what I want to do. And I want to continue to grow this as much as I possibly can. So I would just wanted like, so now it's just like every 3 months, I have come up with a whole new way of like what direction I'm going to take this business. Because a year ago, I didn't think I wanted to expand it to the way it is today. And now I have plans to go much bigger than where it is now, just because I have that ambition, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
I love that. Two things I want to address what you said, like how you mentioned it being like a snowball. That's the most common thing that I tell people, is that it will snowball. Same thing happened for me. So at the beginning, when a lot of people have like a self-doubt on, is this going to really work for me? I'm not very good at marketing. I don't know, but it takes a little bit of time to build up your momentum, but pretty much everybody experiences that snowball effect. It really happens fast. And I had planned the same thing, to just make it like a small side hustle. And once my business started snowballing, I was able to retire my husband and stuff like that. So it was super exciting. And then I love too the flexibility that it brings with you. Like you said, a year ago, you weren't planning on going this direction or even thinking about expanding your business, but you have the option or the opportunity to. So you can decide to continue to grow, or you can decide to keep it small, whatever you choose
right.
to do.
Yeah, I'm super lucky. And I know like a lot of people in this group know me, and we've had private conversations. My husband is very supportive of this. We're both entrepreneurs. He is very supportive from day one for this. And this is like super important, for you too, to have that support if you want to grow this as much as you can. So as it started eating up a lot more of my time than just nights, then it turned into like, okay, well, this is filling up my daytime. Now this is like a full-time thing. He was very supportive and just was like, just do what you need to do to get to where you need to be. And, of course we saw the benefits from the beginning. It's not like we were losing. I never lost money at any point in this. I put in an initial investment into the course and to get the website. My husband actually does websites, so he did my website for me, but just to get those couple things launched, like to get the LLC started. And I made that money back in the first 2 months of the new year. So I kind of like launched in December of 2019. I had that money recouped by February. So that wasn't like that big of a deal for me. And then from there, I just made profit every month. And I never lost. There's no overhead. There's very little overhead. And then as I grew, and I just added some team members. And again, like, it's not like there's ever that loss in the month. So there's not really, that loss that you feel like you have to expend money to make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with being somebody that has another type of business, that you guys are business owners in other capacity. I mean, I feel like having a bookkeeping business is probably the safest type of business that you could start. Given your experience with different types of businesses, what would you say to that?
100%, 100%. Most of my clients don't have brick and mortar locations, which is it's like the total killer when it comes to risk and having a ton of overhead. When I launched in 2019, the pandemic started 3 months later. So it was kind of craziness. And a lot of people may have said to that, well, didn't a lot of your clients go out of business? And no, a lot of clients actually did a lot better in the pandemic. And that is like us, like we, as bookkeepers, were very much needed during the pandemic. And I think that's what originally catapulted me, because I was very familiar with the SBA, because 6 months prior, I had to get an SBA loan for my husband's business. And it was a 10-month long grueling process that I learned inside and out to get them the money that they needed to keep their business afloat. And we finalized that loan in December of 2019, and thinking that we were never going to have to borrow money again. And 3 months later, the pandemic hit and we were shut down for 4 months. So there's just so many surprises that pop up, and I knew exactly what to do. And I applied for that EIDL loan the first week that it was available, and we received it like a couple weeks later, before that surge that kind of bottlenecked everybody. And then everybody was like waiting for a while. So we got that funding immediately, and was able to stay afloat, where I could focus on the bookkeeping stuff, where the escape room, we were just kind of like sitting on our hands, just waiting to reopen. So at least I had the comfort of that money being there at the escape room. So we weren't worrying about how we were going to feed ourselves for the next 12 months while I was growing my business at the same time. So it kind of happened at a very strange time that was really hard for a lot of people to get through, between losing work and losing business and stuff. But I had quite the opposite experience, where I saw tremendous growth, because I felt like I had a lot to offer to people, as far as walking them through the SBA loan process, helping them with the PPP loans, understanding like what the differences were between the two, because at the same time I was going through all of that with my husband's business. So it was just like I was experiencing it, then taking it back to my clients and saying, this is what you need to do, X, Y, and Z. And I walked them through it, and I gained a lot of clients and referrals from those steps.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so great to be able to have like insider knowledge like that. When you have a bookkeeping business, you kind of have some insider knowledge to what it's like to run a business. So you're coming from a perspective that's incredibly safe, incredibly high profit, incredibly low overhead, and recession proof type of business. And you also you learn more about running a business, about the back end of running a business. And then you understand so much more about running a business in general, that not only helps you make your business even more profitable, but then you can help other businesses.
Right. And when it comes down to it, most businesses are the same. Like they have the same needs, they have the same pain points. So once you get that down and understand how businesses work, you can really apply that advice to every new client that you get. Especially if you niche, which I actually don't niche, but a lot of people that do, then it does become a really powerful tool to help the next client that comes to you in that niche, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we kind of get to the trajectory of your business, Rachel had a question. She wanted to know what program you joined, the DIY Academy or Mastermind. And I remember this, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah, I guess it was the DIY, right? At first, like I know your program's probably changed over the past 2 years a little bit, but it was definitely the DIY where I went through the course myself, and then I hopped on the calls each week that's when Tiffani was running them solely on her own. But yeah, then I would just hop on those calls twice a week. I also want to add that I do have I worked in several departments in my former company where I learned all different aspects of the accounting. So I started with the inventory, then I went over to accounts receivable, and then I filled in for payable side for my boss when he would be out. So I was like very familiar with all of these different aspects separately. I just never did them cohesively all together. And another big element that I did with the president is I would go on sales calls with him. So I was very familiar with the whole sales call process. It was a different industry. I worked in the paper industry, which is like, it's a commodity. It was very different than what we're doing. But with this business, there is like no competition. And I know like you might say this a lot in your calls. There is really no competition. There is more businesses than there are bookkeepers. There is like no way that all of us can service all of the businesses out there if you can just see how much in demand we are in right now. I mean, there's people, I get messages all the time from people like that I'm not even trying to like reach out to, that will reach out to me and be like, I know someone that needs help in this aspect, in this way. The business will come to you just naturally.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely true. There is no competition in this. And especially, we'll get to this in a little bit, but you don't even need to have gobs of clients to make a lot of money too. So that's really exciting. But I also want to add real quick to Rachel's question. So back when Anne started, we had a little bit of a different model. So we had the DIY course, and that was kind of a prerequisite to be able to join our coaching program. So if you were in the DIY course, then you got the opportunity to pay a monthly subscription to be in our support group. So Anne did both of those things. She was in the course and then the monthly support group where she hopped on the Zoom calls. So now what we have is a fixed price for our monthly coaching program. And so that's what the piece of cake group, the Bookkeeper Academy, is. And you do get the course for free once you enroll in that. But if you do the course separately, there isn't any support with the course anymore. So if you want to have the same level of support and more that Anne had, then you'll be interested in joining the Academy and not just the DIY course. Also too, Anne has taken some CFO level coaching programs outside of our community to be able to offer higher level services, which I'm sure we'll talk about here shortly. We now actually also offer that coaching in the Mastermind. And Kendall, who is in the Mastermind, just closed a new CFO client where she is making $4,000 a month from one single client offering CFO services. So that's kind of gives you guys a little bit of idea of how you can kind of mimic what Anne is doing through utilizing the different programs that we have going on here at the Bookkeeper Academy. So with that being said, let me see, I think Mary has a question here. Two-part question, she says, since there is no certification as a bookkeeper with this program, are clients hesitant to utilize our services? And also, how would one become certified as a bookkeeper after taking your academy? So Anne, I'll let you answer part of that. What have you run into as far as like meeting with clients and not really having any kind of certification? Has it held you back in any way?
No. So I don't get that question ever. Like, it's kind of crazy that like you would think that would be something that comes up. It does not. As far as like my educational background, I have an MBA. I got my MBA when I was working at my previous company just because they would pay for it. And I thought that it would get me higher. But then when I higher in the company, but then when I graduated, they were just like, you're already at your ceiling. We're not giving you any more money. So I thought that was kind of pointless. And I'm going to be 100% transparent. You do not learn what you learn in this course from college. It is literally, I forget I have that certification all the time, and it will come up. And I actually had a conversation with someone recently in a networking call that was like, they actually did ask me and then I was just like, oh, well, I took courses and stuff. And then I was like, oh, wait, I have my MBA. And they were like, oh, well, why didn't you lead with that? And I said, because it doesn't matter. Like, you don't, I learned nothing from that program, like nothing that I already didn't know already working for that. I learned more working for my previous employer and from this course to run this business than I ever learned from just having my MBA. It's not needed. So as far as that, like the question I get asked more than anything, I think, is if I'm QuickBooks certified. And I am. And but that's just certification just to use the software. It's not, anything that you need to know like about accounting or anything. So like it's almost a separate certification. There are certifications out there. I did think about it for a minute, like when I first launched my business, but I said maybe later in the year. But since my business took off so much, I was like, it's just like it's a non-issue. Like nobody really asks me ever. You just kind of say like, so I get asked like sometimes how many clients I have, but even that I don't even get asked anymore. I really focus my sales conversations on what the client needs and what they're going through right now. It's not like a job interview.
Right.
More like, how can I help you? Like, what's going on with your business? Let's talk about it.
Yeah. I was actually just having this conversation with my mom yesterday about, we see a lot in Facebook groups here in this group. People ask a lot about certifications and taking other classes. And sometimes even people say, how can I learn some of this stuff for free? And, you can go to accountingcoach.com or watch random YouTube videos or get bookkeeping books from Amazon. But the problem is that there's usually no real world application for that information. And a lot of it is geared towards large corporations, accounting for large corporations. And then that's not really going to prepare you for doing bookkeeping for small businesses. So we actually really steer people away from getting any kind of certifications outside of the QuickBooks Pro Advisor certification, but even that isn't really necessary. Megan, our lead student mentor, I don't think she's ever completed the QuickBooks online certification, and she's had a really successful business for 2.5 years now. So really no certifications are necessary and actually really end up being kind of a waste of time. Like you said, going back to school and then finding out that piece of paper cost you time and money, but didn't even get you any additional money or any additional freedom. So to me,
right, I think you touched upon too, is just like when you do take those like certifications and those courses, and this was the same with my MBA program, you learn about doing accounting for like corporations. Like I took operations management classes, like that was like based on like manufacturing for like a $50 million company that made absolutely no sense to me. But when I took your course, I was like, oh, this all makes so much more sense, because when you do it from start to finish and not just one aspect of, you're not like one cog in like this gigantic corporation, it makes a lot more sense. I actually hired a contractor that I'm working with, and it comes from big corporate. And every time we work together, I said, you're looking at this, like at this giant picture. I was like, it's so much. I was like, all of this. It's so easy. You just do it. I was like, you're overthinking all of this. I was like, it's so much easier than you think when you do it from start to finish for a really small business. And like, it just keeps like blowing her mind. Like, she's like, I don't understand why it seems too simple. I'm so like, she's like, I don't understand. And I'm just like, I have to keep like talking to her. And I was like, you're coming from this big corporate place that you just did one part of what they needed done on this full accounting scale. I was like, now we're doing everything from start to finish for these small businesses. And it is a lot easier. And with your course, the course is great. It walks you through it. You can totally understand everything that's happening from start to finish, but the mentor help is the key to all of this, because you remember all the calls that I hopped on. I was on every single call, like trying to get on there, like to be first in line to ask my question, because like I would have something that would pop up that I was working on over the weekend. And it was just maybe like one little question that was just like, do I do it this way or this way? I understand it, but like, how would you do it? And you don't get that from like DIY, like just looking up a YouTube video or just taking the course, because it doesn't answer all the things that pop up. Like there is like every client that I have is different. And they always have like one or two weird things that isn't in the normal scope of regular bookkeeping that you need to confide. Like I need to ask like a CPA a question, or ask the student mentors, like, have you guys ever come across this? Like you like need that support, and that helps you keep your confidence to keep moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And the one thing that all of you guys have in common, all of you that have been successful, like you and Megan and Casey and Jara and Vanessa and Chelsea, Samantha, all of the ladies that have been so super successful, the one thing that you guys all have in common is utilizing those Zoom calls, getting on there and asking questions, because once you get an answer to a good handful of questions, then you have the basic knowledge to be able to tackle these same questions over and over again for all future clients. So it's just really.
Oh, sure. I remember we worked on a truck, like it was like some kind of truck selling and refinancing, like at the very beginning. And I still use that journal entry for like to apply it to like when it comes up again, I'm like, oh, I've done this 5 times over now. I'll just go into that one client's account, grab that journal entry and apply it to the new client's account that needs it. Like you do reuse a lot of the same things. And look, like nobody's going to know everything. Like there's still things that I consistently have to ask either like the CPA that's working on the account, or I come into our group and I ask like the other mentors, or I ask you, like, I came across this, I've never come across this before. Like, how would you guys handle it? And then everyone will give their opinion and then kind of talk about why they would do it that way. And then we can all come up with the correct answer that way, instead of just guessing and or just not knowing what to do and kind of giving up and losing that confidence.
Yeah, because trying to find the answer on your own sometimes is just really overwhelming because there's so much information out there. So just knowing you can come into the group and be able to ask the question and get a specific answer, so you don't have to spend hours and hours researching things on your own, is really valuable.
Yeah. Plus you meet a lot of people that are in the same exact stage you're in, and you can kind of talk to them on the side and just like kind of follow their journey. Like me and Robin have been talking from the very beginning. We both joined in the same exact time, and we regularly talk we talk like every day. So it's just nice to have somebody else and not feel like you're like alone in your business to, like you almost have colleagues, but you just don't work together.
I know that is probably my most favorite side effect of starting this program, because that was the biggest struggle that I faced when I started my business. Not only did I have all this knowledge and this accounting degree and the CPA designation, but when I started my business, like you said, it's totally different than what you learn, the book work that you learn. So I had to teach myself a lot of this stuff and simplify it down like your, team members trying to do. But also at the same time, I had no boss to rely on, and I had no colleagues, coworkers to get me through, like, the ups and downs that you face emotionally. Yeah. And so this program is awesome because it's almost like you have a boss, because you've got, myself and you and all the other student mentors to rely on. But then you also almost have like coworkers, because it's like a family in there where everybody's helping each other, everybody's growing businesses alongside and transforming their lives, and you really get to know everybody that's in the group, and get to benefit from what it would be like to have coworkers in your company.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important, especially for that confidence to kind of keep you going, and just because there's days that you feel like you suck and you don't want to continue to do this anymore. You don't want to do it. And you just need to vent to somebody and just say, my client sucks and I need some help, or I'm going through this thing where I'm not charging enough. How do you go about it? Like there's always things like that come up. And that's like a little bit different than being an employee of a company. So now you're like you said, you're the business owner, and you have to make like all these there's a whole nother like layer to this where you have to start making all these decisions on your own. And it gets really hard when it all falls on you, and you have to constantly be selling yourself. I know like marketing isn't a lot of people's strong suit. And you know what? I used to really hate talking to people. Like it would be really hard for me. And I'd be like, oh, like, what do I say? I don't have anything in common with them. But I feel like with this particular business, I found my stride. Like I never was great at this when I sold paper. Like it was like, wasn't passionate about it. I didn't know what to say. It was all old men that I had to sell to. It was just nobody I could relate to. And once I did the bookkeeping, I was like, oh, I'm a business owner. I know what it's like to run a business. I've been helping my husband with the escape room business for, at that point, it was 2 years. And I was like, I know I've been through this before. I know how like the issues with what that come across with payroll. And then it becomes very easy to have these conversations with business owners because you have so much in common to talk about. And you have to constantly be networking and talking to people. That's like, at this point, it's like 50% of my job right now is like, I'm networking, I'm marketing, I'm talking to people. I'm just getting to know people better because it just is planting seeds. And then they just all come back to you at some point, like naturally, either by referral or like the people you tried to sell before come back to you and sign on with you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's same experience for me. And everyone has a different level of, interest in doing that. So you can choose how much you want to network, how much you want to grow your business. So I know like from what you're saying and from how I am, I'm an introvert. So at first I didn't like doing that stuff, but as I continue to grow my business and you can see how doing these things actually impacts your life so drastically that it's almost like addicting to keep moving forward. And
it is. No, it is. I'm totally with you. Like, I feel that so hard. Like I told you before, like I had no intention on making it that like to where I am today. But when I see people like put posts in the group and they'll say, oh, well, like, do you think I can replace my income? Like you can there's like no limit to this. And me and my husband had this conversation like a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, do you think I can double what I'm making now? Because I do. I think I can. I just have to figure out how to do it. I don't think there is a limit to how much money you can make. And I never dreamed that I would be making this much money just doing this. Like you would think that you would have to do a lot more. Like I said, like I have my MBA, like you'd think I'd have to get a job as like a CFO at a corporation to make the money that I'm making now. And you just don't. And like the beauty of it is like, I'm literally wearing pajama pants right now.
That is fantastic.
I love being in my pajamas all day. And that's like the thing. I show up to Zoom calls. I have phone calls, Zoom calls with my clients, and they have no idea like that I just rolled out of bed 20 minutes before. Like I get to choose my own hours. And it's great. I mean, it's like I'm going through a little bit of a growing pain problem here, which is because I'm growing a little faster than I could keep up with. So my work hours have been a little crazy, and I'm trying to get that under control. But like you said, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you just want to make $1,000 a month extra or $2,000 a month extra, you can do it very easily and work very little, for sure.
Yep. Yeah. And one thing that like myself personally, what I've been dedicated to doing ever since I launched this program is figuring out how to help people like you and new people in the program reach the level of success that I had and beyond, but easier and more graceful and more efficient. We're always looking for ways to make it better. So one of the things that we have created now is our Elite Mastermind program to kind of start to help students when they get to the point where your business is and transitioning into, a business where they can still live their ideal life, cut back on the hours they're working and really leverage a team and learn all of those things. Because I will admit, one of the reasons I sold my business before I started this program was because I got to your point and I was like, gosh, I can see how much more I can grow this, but I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to add any more hours to my plate. And I really didn't know how to take that next step. So the mastermind is all about learning how to take this amazing, massive train that you've created that's going 100 miles per hour and continuing it down that path without adding more work to your plate. So it's something that's kind of gonna, be running without you having to add more hours to your plate. So that's what the mastermind is for. If a lot of you guys are wondering, because we have had so many students hit the same or similar level of success that Anne is experiencing now, and they're ready for that next level too.
Yeah.
So
it happens faster than you think.
Yeah. Yep. We had a question. What's the best part about having a bookkeeping business and what's been the most challenging?
The best part is being able to help clients. Like I have clients that make really good money and they were just like, they just need that bookkeeping help. And then I have clients that were like floundering and just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what where I'm supposed to be going. And I was able to really help them out of that. And that's like the most rewarding thing. Actually, like last week, I got a text on Friday night from one of my clients. She was crying because I helped her get a $10,000 grant and that she had no idea about. And I was like, look, you got to apply for this. You're eligible. I helped her walk through the process. It was like 5 weeks. Every week she was texting me. She's like, do you think I'm going to get it? And I was like, look, just wait, you'll get it. And then she got it. And and she's like, you have no idea what this is going to do for my business. And like, that is the most rewarding part. And the awesome. Money's great too. The money's pretty great too. But also like just from doing things that feel simple to me and that I can make as much money as I am is amazing. The downside is, and it's not the clients, like I have really great clients, you always get like one. I have over 30 clients right now. I probably have had 1 to 2 that were issues that I had to move and just be like, I can't work with these people anymore. And that's the luxury you have. So it's not like necessarily like a bad thing. Like you don't have to work with them. So that's a good thing too. So I would say like the hardest part of doing all this is managing a team. Like Tiffani said, like I'm not great at this part. I feel like I'm good at the sales part. I'm good at getting clients. I'm good at handling the clients. The workload has been insane for me lately. And I do have a small team of people that have been helping me and we're getting that on track. But that's been the hardest part is just keeping all the plates spinning because it just renews every month. You start at the beginning of the month, you have to get everything done. And then at the end, you wrap everything up at the end of the month and it starts over again. And when that previous month starts bleeding into the next month and you're still trying to catch up, it gets a little hectic, but you just basically keeping everybody at bay and staying in communication with everybody is the most challenging part. So that's what I'm struggling with right now, but it's still all good. It's worth it. It's yours. It's your business. It's worth it.
Yep. Yeah. And you can design it however you want. So, Yep. Okay. So what is the biggest piece of advice for someone who's on the fence about joining the academy?
It just depends on what you're on the fence about. The investment is worth it. You go to college, if you want to take courses at a community college, you're going to get like the ticket price for that kind of stuff is insane. And you're not going to leave there with the knowledge that you get from this course. So, if the money is what's holding you up, then, I'd say do it. If it's the mindset and and also like Tiffani, you're offering all of that stuff too now. It's like you have mindset coaches and help. It's more of the confidence and the mindset thing that's probably going to hold you back the most. And I say, just like, you have to just keep at it. You just have to keep networking. A lot of people in this group, I noticed that like can't get clients or say they want. The way that I got all of my clients was networking. I joined networking groups. I'm in like 3 or 4 right now. You just have to keep showing up, telling people what you do and not expecting to get clients out of it. Genuinely go into these networking calls wanting to meet people that can help you help your clients. Like I've met financial coaches. I've met insurance agents, all these people that now I'm using regularly when my clients need help. Business lawyers. So when you go and try to make genuine connections with people and get to know them, like this is going to be like a big part of like getting new clients is you just have to keep talking to people. And the more you talk to people, the more comfortable you become to speaking to potential clients because you're just used to talking to new people all the time. And that weirdness that you feel or that uncomfortableness, like it does go away. And like, so now I talk to anybody. Like, I'm just like, oh, let's chat. You want to have a 30-minute chat? Let's talk, see how we can help each other with our business. And then 90% of the time it turns into them referring someone to you or them just coming to you yourself. I've been working with a health coach just for my own health. And now she just booked an appointment with me next week. She goes, I need your help. Like we need to start working together. Like it will happen organically. You have to make the connections. So if you're okay with those 2 things, I say like dive in and do it.
Yep. And if you got to be okay with learning, this is kind of like a lifelong learning situation that you can be in, but there's no there's no rush to learning things, just being open to learning things as you continue to grow, because there's different things with different businesses and different stages of having a business that you'll learn along the way. So another really cool feature that we're rolling out in the Academy right now also is topic-based Zoom calls. So we're getting ready to have, I believe we've already started these marketing specific Zoom calls that Megan is hosting, and she's going to be going over each individual suggestion on how we think you should market your business to get clients fast and easily without spending any money. So, and you might have to be a guest on one of those Zoom calls so you can
Sure.
talk about marketing.
Yeah, I've never spent, I mean, other than joining a group and having to pay like the fee to be in a group, I've never paid like for advertising or anything like that, like
That's
Facebook ads. Yeah, none of that.
Yep. That was my experience as well. And why it's so great to learn how to do this in the Academy, because once you make the investment to join, there are so very few expenses. And additionally, marketing is not going to be an expense for you. So that's really, really nice. Let's see, what other questions do we have here? What are some of the main questions that you ask in your sales calls when you talk to potential clients? I like that one.
Usually like what the revenue looks like how that usually helps me with quoting them. And another thing is when I'm on my discovery calls, I do quote like 90% of the time I'll quote them as I'm on the call with them. Because like once you get an idea of once you're used to working with a bunch of different people, you'll know immediately like how much time it's going to take you. So you could quote them then and there to get that yes immediately instead of having them think it over. So that was big for me. Like when I first started closing clients. So I asked them about their revenue, what systems they use, if they use QuickBooks, what kind of banking do they use? I just kind of get an idea of how the money is flowing in and how the money's flowing out. Are they paying things by check? Are they paying things electronically? Do they have assets in the business? If they want to pull up their accounting while we're on the phone or on the Zoom call, like we could just look things over really quick. That's an option too. So it's really just getting them to talk and just saying, what's going on? What are you having issues with? And then they'll usually say to you, well, what's included in your packages? And then you just say, well, I make sure everything's integrated with QuickBooks. All the apps are hooked up. I make sure all the transactions come through. I code everything, financial reports. I always include in my monthly packages a 30-minute strategy session at the end too. So if some take advantage, some don't. But they like that. Oh, well, we'll talk more. Cause like sometimes bookkeepers will just send clients the financials and they don't review them with them. So if you review, them with them for like the first 10 minutes, and then you have like 20 minutes left to say, hey, what do you want to pick my brain about? Let's talk about it. Like, what's going on with you? Do you need, loans? Do you need grants? Like I can help you, look for more money. If you're looking for more money, like, do you need, some suggestions on how to increase your revenue? Like things like that. And that's where it kind of gets into the CFO level, end of things, which we're going to talk about in the next hour. But, yeah, it's just like, ask as many questions as you can, because the more questions you ask, the more they feel like you know what you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah. It's funny. They actually can talk themselves into services with you just by you asking questions.
Yeah. The fact that they're getting on a call with you means that they're in the market to hire a bookkeeper. Like this is not something that they're going to dabble in and curious about. Like they're ready, if they're at that point. So it's just a matter of you closing the deal and selling what, or just seeing if you even want to work with them. Like some industries like are not cool to work in. Like I don't do construction. And that's a personal preference of mine. I really like to focus on service-based businesses because I feel like, not that they're the easiest, but I feel like I have the most in common with them, that I can help them out the most. I really don't get into e-commerce. I really don't get into construction, restaurants. Everybody else is kind of open, fair game for me. But if I do get clients that are in those industries, I'll say, well, hey, I know like 5 people that do that. So I could give you referrals. And then we refer other people in the group. I know some people that love doing e-commerce. I just don't. So it's just depending on what you like, who you like to work with. I love working with women. I do like working with men too, but the women are just more fun. They're the ones that always get on the strategy sessions, and then we become friends and we have a lot in common, and you just get to know people and actually genuinely like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I have a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
Before I do, real quick though, if you guys are watching, just to let you know, we have about 8 more days before the price increases for our programs for the Academy and the Mastermind. So I'm going to put the link in here. If you guys want to book a call, you got to get in before September 15th to be considered our grandfathered pricing. Everyone in the Academy is going to get access to the updates that we've got coming and rolling out. So you want to get in before that price increase. You've got 8 days to get on the calendar. If you try to book a call and you can't get in, please let us know so we can open up more spots for you. So I wanted to share that with you guys real quick. And also, Anne is getting ready to do a coaching for us in the Academy right after we're done with this live on what is a CFO. Anne has learned how to offer CFO level services to her clients and is able to make more money doing that and impact their business in a bigger way. So we're going over what that looks like and kind of an introduction to what a CFO is and how you can expand your bookkeeping business to provide CFO level services. And then we go into depth and really teach and coach on that a lot in the Mastermind. So just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of some other benefits and perks of the Academy and the Mastermind as well. But I wanted to make sure we have enough time for you, Anne, to share some of your financial success and also some like non-financial success that your bookkeeping business has brought.
Sure. Well, so some financial success, like you said, that some people in the groups are getting like these CFO clients that have the you'll get like a couple $1,000s a month for. That was my third client, actually, was my $4,000 a month client. So having that client, really just everybody else that came after that, I was like, well, I don't really care if I get new clients. So I didn't have that like crazy need for more clients. And I felt like that less needy I was, the more that they ended up coming to me. So I think like early on, I was pretty successful with getting like those high paying clients. And I think because like from the bat, like I did have some CFO level experience to offer that out like kind of right away from my past like work experience, but not saying that they can't be learned. So that was pretty successful. So like last year, like for example, I made my revenue was probably, so my first full year in business, my revenue was probably around 80,000. And then this year I'm like triple that. So it's definitely doable. And like you said, it's just it's just how far do you want to take it? So it's not like this is completely not like when you give your case studies, when you do have your course and say, well, I made this much money, it's not just you. There's other people in the group that are making that kind of money. And I don't think it's because of anything that I have more than anybody else. Like anybody can do this. It's more of just like, it's basically like how you're going to sell yourself and how far you want to take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Laura says, what kind of time commitment is involved on your part with a $4,000 per month client?
It took a while to get him like cleaned up. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like at the beginning, I was spending, I feel like more time than I was getting paid for. But since it was one of my first clients, I was just kind of like, well, let me see what it takes me. I'm getting paid a lot. I learned so much from that client. And I probably did lose a little bit, like time wise at the beginning, maybe the first 3 months. I've had him almost, it'll be 2 years in March. So like, it's been almost 2 years. And he's very happy. Like we're always talking, like he's very happy with my work. I'm always asking him, is there anything else like that I could do to help him to like make, so we always stay in contact, and things are good, going well with the client. But I'd say now I probably spend, I don't know, maybe like 10 hours a week tops. Like I don't even like, I like to dedicate some weekend time. I'll probably spend maybe 4 or 5 hours on the weekend so I could just concentrate on his account and not be bothered by anybody else. So I'd say like maybe like 5 to 8 hours a week that I spend on his stuff. And some weeks it's more than others. I primarily do payroll for him. I manage his payroll, and he has it's a very complicated payroll. So we do a lot of that together, and we do a little bit of CFO like projections. And I kind of just do like any kind of state compliance, and I'll get into that with the training and stuff. Like he'll just come to me and be like, I don't even know what this is. Can you look into it? And then I find out, that kind of stuff. But it's just more of like the attention that you're giving to the clients. Like when they need something, he doesn't expect me to do anything same day because he understands that I'm a contractor, but he loves that I'm very attentive to him.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so Laura too, you can expect to make at least $100 an hour with your bookkeeping clients when you put them in these fixed price packages that we help people quote their clients, potential clients. We also have a calculator on our website at stayatHomeBookkeeper.com, and you can use that to try to determine like how much money you can make and how long it's going to take you to do the bookkeeping. The first 2 to 3 months when you get a new client, there is usually some kind of level of cleanup and kind of getting things in place. And then after that, it's really easy to streamline the clients once you get them situated.
Yeah. Once the workflow's set up, it's much easier. And then the more you do it, the easier it becomes for you. But just always have that expectation at the beginning. It's going to be kind of like frustrating to kind of get them in order because you're trying to figure things out. But like once it's set, you're pretty good. And that's always what I say to myself when I'm cleaning up someone new. Like I charge for it. I charge a nice price for it now, but like, I would just be like, just get through this, just get the workflow set up. And then it's going to be easy street. It's going to be monthly recurring income from here on out. And it is, and it always is worth it. Like I said, I haven't had issues with anyone that, had to either like fire me on bad terms or me fire them. Like I more would just be like, just like gently let them go and just be like, okay, I don't think this is like working. We're not meshing very well together. And like I said, I only had to do that once or twice because someone was uncooperative, but for the most part, it all ends up working out really well. And to get that monthly recurring income is key. That's why I took on so many clients during tax season, because I'm like, they're looking for this help now. I'm going to take them on so I can have their recurring income for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Okay, I have one last question from Leslie. When did you feel like you were actually ready for your clients? I have spent the last 3 weeks doing nothing but setting everything up, watching Zooms, webinars, etc. I am taking the Pro Advisor. Sorry, my screen refreshed. Certification now. I passed 3 of 6 the first time. Now retaking the others. I have learned so much, but still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I know that I am just going to have to have the hands-on part, but until I get that, how do I get to feeling like I'm really prepared? I have some potential clients and one client that I'm going to be starting with next week. So I have some things to say, but what would you like to say to Leslie?
Yeah, I would say like Tiffani always says this, like in her course, like you have to just start taking on clients. There's no amount of knowledge you're going to have to be ready for this. It's more of just, you have to get that experience and knowing what to do. So every time you do get a new client, it becomes easier and easier and you become a little bit more confident, but you just have to have that confidence to take it on. And then when you don't know what's going on or how to do it, and like I've done tons of clients I've taken on that I've just been like, I don't even know how to do this, but I'll figure it out. And like, and you do, you have to consult the support team and any CPAs that that you can just pick their brain and just figure out how to do it. But like, you're just going to have to figure out a lot of this. I don't want to say fake it till you make it, because it's not really faking. You just have to know where to seek the answers. But definitely take the work on, because it is everything you can figure out. It's not, nothing is that complicated.
Yep. You just need to kind of focus on your mindset and realize that, you're kind of stepping into something in the black abyss right now. You don't know what the clear path is, but you just need to trust the process and take that messy action, take that first step forward, and try not to be stuck in the planning stages or analysis paralysis, because that's only going to make your success happen slower. So just get out there and do it. We are your safety net. We're going to help you with anything that comes your way. So just try not to let your fears or any insecurities hold you back, because it will keep you from having the life of your dreams. really. Wanda says on the cleanup, does the Academy coach you on this? Yes, we do. Free unlimited one-on-one Zoom calls with your first client. So if they have cleanup work, you'll get unlimited help on that. And we also have private breakout rooms with our student mentors. And Anne is one of them. She can help with a lot of cleanup work as well in the private breakout rooms. So you can get personalized individual help in the Academy when you've got a cleanup job going. So we do offer both of those in there. And I'll answer these last two questions here in a second, but I just want to remind everyone that if you want to learn from myself, from Anne as a mentor in the Academy and all of our other mentors, make sure you book a call. We have 8 more days to get you on the calendar so you can be eligible to join our programs before the price increase goes up on September 15th. So definitely book a call and get on the calendar. If you can't find any open spots, please let us know and we will make one for you. So last couple of questions, Laura says, I'm going to be building alongside a full-time job as a mom to a toddler. So working to plan the transition and carve appropriate time in, definitely willing to put in hard work up front. That's awesome. Yes. You know, Anne grew her business alongside her little one. When I grew my business, I had a 6-month-old that I actually took with me to networking events. She was my little PR rep. So it's not super easy to do anything with kids at home, but it's definitely doable. Or would you agree with that, Anne?
Yeah. It was a lot of my son's almost 5 now, but it was a lot of like working while he's napping, working after he goes to bed. Now it's a lot harder because he stays up later and he doesn't nap anymore. So my husband helps me a lot more now that he just kind of takes my son and now he's going to school and everything. So that helps. But yeah, it's a lot of just that dedication to just being like, look, I'm going to just dedicate and do this at night until I can make this my full-time gig. And then I can have my nights and weekends back. But I'm not going to lie, I work nights and weekends. Like I work all day, all night, all weekend, but it's because I'm growing. And that's what I want to do. Like I want to grow this as big as I can. This is not, if you just want to do this for some side income, then yeah, you just do it when your kids are sleeping or put the TV on for your kids and spend 45 minutes, like, you know, but you can, if you have like small accounts, you can get that work done in like 2 hours a month, like for one small client. It's very doable and very easy.
Awesome. Yep, absolutely. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap up because Anne and I are actually going to go hop into the Academy right now, and we're going to do an introduction course on what is a CFO for all the Academy students. So thank you guys so much for joining. If you have any more questions for Anne or I, feel free to comment on this live and we will definitely get back with you. And thank you so much, Anne, for coming on here and sharing your experience and answering all these awesome questions.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.